everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Sorry for my once again long absence. Things have been crazy and I just didn't have the time or energy to film, but I am back today because there's some projects that I want to wrap up, and this one being the first. I think this is going to be the first video that I upload. This is going to be a wrap up of my years of usage, but also of my no pan left behind. I would do a separate video, but honestly not a lot happened, so I think I'll just combine the two and yeah, make it a little bit more interesting for you guys. So years of usage is a project that was created by Sarah Catherine. I have her link down below as well as everything that you need to know. And this year I just tracked all of the uses that I did on all of my eyeshadows, made a spreadsheet, and I've been going over the numbers with you guys every month. So I missed the update for November. So today I'm going to talk about November and December, and then look at my total uses and look at some shadows that I hit my 25 uses on this year. So let's start with, I will put on the screen. In November I used 106 shadows. That is not a lot. And then in December I did 102. I've not really been wearing makeup as consistent as I was, and when I was doing my makeup I was doing simple looks, so like 2 or 3 shadows instead of, I can go for 4, 5, 6, 7 shadows sometimes, but I've just not been doing that. So 106 uses for November, 102 for December. I'm happy with all the uses that I got anyway, so that's good. The total uses that I have done this year is 1,931, and looking at the number beside that, that is the number of needed uses. I say needed, but that was loosely 7,364. So there's that for the uses. Not that I was thinking that I was going to complete it this year, but it was just fun to track. And then looking at, I have my computer here, so if you can hear me clicking, I'm like live checking what I need to talk about. Looking at the pans that I've hit, so last month I had a total of 44 pans in my collection, and that was a pan percentage of 38.8%. This month I have 49 pans, which means I hit 5 more pans. Would have been nice to hit the 6th one and be on an even 50 pans, but it's fine. And that means that my pan percentage is 40.1% at the end of this year, so I'm happy about that. Again, I didn't really have any goals for that, but it was just fun to track. And then let's see what pans I hit. I hit some ColourPop pans. I see here 4 ColourPop pans hit in November and December, so that's good. And yeah, okay, the 5th pan is a Gimme Glow pan. So nothing changed in like my brand categories. I didn't complete any more goals for those, but we got really close on some. I'm fine with that. Again, it wasn't really a harsh like goal, but it was just fun to track, and I'm happy with all the pans that I got this year and all of my uses. So let's go and let's first check my no pan left behind spreadsheet, just to get that out of the way. I have tracked all of my uses throughout the year, and I've tried to use every shadow in my collection once. I did not complete that because I also wanted to see what I would do like naturally instead of forcing myself to use some, so that I can base declutters on that. And a declutter is coming soon because I really need to declutter. But if I look at my spreadsheet, I did not touch any new shadows in November and December, which is why I'm putting it in this video, because it's just not interesting. The only thing I noticed when I was tallying up all my uses is that I missed 2 pans that I used for October. So in October, instead of 9, I used 11 shadows, and I have like 3 or 2 new squares colored in, and those came from my Glam Light Lord of the Rings palette. So if you notice that, that is I don't know, I forgot to color those in. So yeah, you can see I did not use all of my eyeshadows this year, but I am going to do an overview. I will do that in a different video. I was thinking about doing it in this one, but I think it would be fun to have it in a different video where I look at every palette that I have, put on screen the total uses that I did on shadows, and then kind of live see if that's enough to keep a palette. I don't know. I think I'm gonna do that. So that's it for No Pan Left Behind. Let's go and look at some shadows that I used, my 25 uses for this year. And then this project is, I guess, done for now. I have them here to the side. So these shadows I got by far the most used were in my Panda palette of this year. I did a build your own palette. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler, but that's fine. These shadows that I used the most, and I have them in my spreadsheet going from newest or oldest to newest. So we're starting with ColourPop. The shadow Bare to Wear, I used that a total of 88 times. This shadow Moody, I used a total of 85 times. Okay, and then another one that was in my palette. This is the shade Wavelength. I've used that a total of 76 times. That is quite a lot. And then Lace Up, I had to search for this. I completely forgot that this was in my palette at one point. This is the shade Lace Up. And I used that 34 times. What is that? It's crazy to me how different these shadows look. That's 88 uses and this is 34. It's crazy. The formula on these can be so different. There is a shadow from my Beauty Bay Love Notes palette that I used 43 times, and that is the shade Cheeks. This was in a project to hit pan at one point. I think maybe this was my level up or something. And I used this as a blush. I still will use it as a blush. I have used it in December as well as a blush, and I like it a lot as a blush. So that got 43 uses. Then in my Zoeva singles, we have, oh, that one is in a different palette, so that one is here. Just put that here for now. We have 2 empty pans. So that were Bitter Start and Wax Paper, or the other way around. I used Bitter Start 110 times, then it was done. I used Wax Paper 68 times, and then it was done. And then I moved on to this shadow, Travel Inspired. I'm trying to use that up. This currently has 96 uses. And this is where we are, so not close to being done, but surpassed the 25 uses on those by far. And then I also had one in a project, I think it was in Pamela's Eyeshadows, and I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the shade Joy in a Box. I tried to hit pan on that, and it took me exactly 25 uses to hit pan. So that's fun. So that's that for my Zoeva singles. And then we have 2 brands to talk about. The Viseart palette quad. I've surpassed the 25 uses on all of these shadows. So the first one I used 46 times. The second one I used 38 times. Then the shimmer I used 41 times. And then this one I used 28 times. So there's that. These at one point were also in my Hannah palette rotation, so that's why I surpassed the uses, I guess. And then the last one is a palette. I have two shadows that I surpassed my 25 uses on. This is my beloved Mica Beauty Shop Peacock Feathers palette. And I hit my goal on the shade Crowned. I used that a total of 41 times. And also on the shade Bird of Paradise, I used that 28 times. So two shadows in here that got more than 25 uses. And then that is it. So moving forward, I'm not going to do it the same as I did in 2025. I think I will pick out some dedicated palettes to try and like hit my 25 uses on, or some shadows. I'm not really sure yet. Let me know what you would like to see. I don't know, some things that I can improve. Did you like it this way? That you like to see the spreadsheet? Do you want to see less numbers? Do you want to see more eyeshadows? I don't know. Let me know. I enjoyed this. It has given me a good insight of what I use. And I will get back to that in a separate video where I show all of my palettes and all of the uses, and we can, you know, check that for ourselves and see if maybe there's palettes that I can let go of because I clearly do not use them or not enough. So I'm gonna leave it here. And I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.